Welcome back to Dum-Dums and Dragons, where improvisers who've never roleplayed before journey into the world of Dungeons and Dragons. I am the Grand Wizard Bukake, your host. The new future have freed their world's divination and illusion mages and killed everyone in the genetics and necromancy labs. Meanwhile, House Farch discovered Grayson Typhus's office in the past. Can our heroes survive the encroaching Kraken in the past, or assassinate the facility director in the future? Find out next on Dum-Dums and Dragons.
You may have just said Kraken bye, but Kraken is just saying hello. So the Kraken is tearing its way towards the elevators. You are still in the director's office, or Grayson Typhus's office, as you've now identified it. What do you do, Dum-Dums?
Run?
Yeah, I think we got to run. And there might be a little less exploration and more like, do we cut the power? What the fuck do we do?
Cool. So you start to run up the spiral staircase. As you move, you actually find there is a body as you kind of round one of the not corners, but sort of round one of the edges. And it is wearing a similar sort of outfit to the merfolk who attacked you, but this one's dead. And it's kind of desiccated, like it's the corpse has been there a long time. It seems to have a couple like very small crossbow bolts, one in the head and two in the chest.
Does it look merfolk?
Yes, 100%. It looks different. Like it's definitely one of the trident folk that you met. Mm-hmm. This one has gills, sort of fins out the sides of its face, but again, sort of like a melted candle, human features. And wearing a Typhus Ventures jumpsuit.
Cool. Gotta go.
Yep. So you kind of like step past the corpse and keep running. So you're making your way up through the various levels of the stack. I've lost my notes. So then I found them again.
Open a door to look and see if there's anything useful, and then just close it and keep going.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. So first and foremost, you hit, and Tyler, I'm sorry, you're actually the only one who wrote down the stupid names they gave all of these. But I think maybe we should just refer to them in 2099 terms, since that's kind of...
That's fine. I actually only wrote down the 2099 ones.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So you're at ENH block, which is the enchantment block.
It's the Palace of Enchantments.
Thank you, Palace of Enchantments. Oh, Laura.
Laura wrote them all
Good
down.
notes.
Actually, I missed the transmutation one, but that's...
Oh, that's fine. The Hall of Changing. I don't fucking care. All right, so...
The change room?
Yeah. You reach the Palace of Enchantments. You open a door and you can see a sort of like the lights are dim in this area, but you can see kind of like fake grass and fake trees, and it's like a weird fantasy kingdom they've set up. And there's sort of a palace at one end with kind of a bunch of small alcoves, each of which has a different type of enchantment in it.
Can we tell what those enchantments are from the doorway?
Hell no.
Is it still active or it's dead like everywhere else?
This one is like sorry, when I say enchantments, it's like there's 5 alcoves, each of which has like paintings in the back of it. You can't really see from here, but it's not like there's an enchantment floating in the thing itself.
And what, the water level is rising up the stairway as the Kraken is breached?
The Kraken hasn't got through the elevator yet. It is very large. Elevator is very small. But yes, you get the sense that soon it will break in, and then 110% we're doing a slowly rising water level adventure.
Yeah, he has to keep...
Fuck yeah.
Because the interesting thing about...
Wait a sec. Question on the physics of that. Where's the air going?
This is our nerd fan who's also a player. Where I'm like,
there's something going on with your voice there.
Sorry, this is Laura being a nerd.
Okay.
I had to put my nerd voice on.
Laura, if an entire structure is underwater and the bottom of that structure gets breached and water starts flowing in, where does the air go?
I think there's like cracks and stuff.
Yeah, maybe things that allow you to transfer air and water in and out of a building. Also, there are windows that might just break.
It increases the pressure until the air goes out.
I'm just curious.
And now you maybe know. Don't worry, guys. There's no way the water can come up because it won't go anywhere. Right, Juniper?
Time freezes, and we see the giant man in armor who farts magic. The tiny baby-sized human man or halfling man, who made a deal with a demon and whose eye is in the pocket of a witch. and the Busey-looking motherfucker who can change their face. But yeah, let's really worry about the physics of water coming into a building.
Oh, it'll go out the window. Do you know what? I bet Grayson left a window open. He was so busy shitting himself, he had to air it out. Let's
Look,
go.
I just want to understand if there's a way to stop the water from rising.
We
That's
killed
really
the
what I'm
Kraken,
asking.
is what I think.
water rises. Here's the thing. From what you know of the diagrams you've looked at, again, similar to 2099 Hangar's issue, the odds are that there is a way to pump water that gets into this building back out. Again, they built a giant structure underwater. They had to take this into account. You just don't know what it is yet.
Okay, Quinny, should we try to find the secret door to see if there's something educational or keep going?
60 seconds, search the room, and then we got to go.
Okay, fart. Looking for a door.
I'm looking also.
Well, I'll look too.
You want investigation? What do you want, sir?
Sure. Well, however you think you'd find it. For Butthole, it's probably more insight than investigation. For
24.
24? Okay. And
5.
14. Let's run with 24.
Butthole, what are you looking for?
I'm just looking for, there's always been a secret door with magic behind it. So I'm just wandering around farting, trying to feel magic, because I feel like that'll lead me to the door if it's booby trapped.
I see. Okay. So, yes, you managed to find a door at the back that's kind of in classic, like, inside a ride setting. So it's been painted, but there's like a doorknob. And you get the sense it's kind of in roughly the same place as the portal room's doors.
Okay, these rooms might have a pattern. Quinny, you got to open this door up, but don't explode yourself.
Okay, I'll
Say, good luck, and I pat him on the shoulder and cast guidance, and then I go hide.
I'll do like 90% of the work and then try and mage hand it.
Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
Add 4.
So, oh boy, 19 on the die.
19 on the die. All right. Well, then it's probably 500.
I think it's a 31.
Yes, it is. It is a 31. Thank you.
Jesus. Okay, so you do the usual thing. You flip back this time. Sure enough, like the magic fist appears. It punches your mage hand, which kind of like puts a hand out to stop it, and it just like annihilates the mage hand. But that's fine.
Yeah,
you're well back. The door swings open, and unlike the previous one where there was kind of like a viewing booth, in this case, it feels almost kind of like a behind the scenes situation. There's a small chamber, and you can see that for each enchantment alcove, there is one body kind of suspended from the ceiling. There's like an elf. There seems to be a halfling. And they have sort of like a much cruder version, sort of like steampunk mask with like a tube over the mouth. Kind of suspended there. All the bodies are again kind of. They look like they struggled a bit, but they're all kind of desiccated and seem fleshier than like you don't see any obvious signs of death.
I want to look the place over for loot, something we can take, something that might kill a kraken, something that someone might have left behind, or even like evidence that someone's been in here.
This back room seems like it hasn't been opened in quite some time.
Okay. How about those alcoves? We kind of ran past those.
So the alcoves, each one represents sort of a different enchantment. And I think the idea would be that they would pass an object into the alcove, it would get enchanted, then they'd be like, ooh, look at this thing we enchanted. Of course, you can see that the alcoves were powered by the mages that were behind them. Yeah.
Yeah. While he's doing all that searching, I think I'm starting to feel bad about all these people that have just been abandoned here. So I want to take them out of their masks and set them on the floor and then just like commend their souls to Moonhammer as I kind of go through the bodies.
Sure, you can do that. I'll give you 1 point of inspiration for kind of being true to character.
Okay, this room just seems kind of gross and scary, and I want to fucking punch Mr. Poops Your Pants so hard. But we should move along. There is a Kraken coming.
Yep, ready to go.
Juniper, is there anything you wanted to check out while we were here? What were you up to? I was blessing.
I mean, I'm still looking around. I'm still riddled with confusion over why things look the same. Like the architecture's the same. Like that was around my home.
What does your scroll say? You haven't checked your scroll in a
It
while.
hasn't said anything in a long time, but I can check.
It could now. Who knows?
The scroll is pure red, as though being here has overwhelmed it.
Yeah, it's not
Juniper, can you roll me an investigation check, please?
totally. 8.
8. You know that you've observed a detail somewhere to this point that has kind of slipped your mind. That like it's one of those awful things. Your brain's like, I think I have information that I didn't quite clock.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what that is right now because you rolled badly. But as you continue to kind of explore, if that's ultimately like the puzzle that Juniper's working on, I'll get you to roll me checks basically when, because I think essentially the way we'll play this is if it's a floor like this, that's just kind of an investigation floor. And if you're doing it quickly, everyone gets one major action in the room. And if your major action is, I just want to puzzle on it, then I'll let you kind of continue to roll.
Something's like, I'm going through like all of these possibilities. Like, did the changelings build this? It's like,
It's a bad scene in
I don't
Juniper's head right
like
now.
it. Yeah. Especially since they have the prophecy.
Interesting.
I don't like it.
All right. So having searched this room kind of as much as, I assume as much time as you wanted to put into this.
Yeah.
All right. So you take off and you start moving up to the next floor. You find sort of like two bodies that one is clearly kind of holding one that's been stabbed. There's a sword in it, and you can kind of see more signs of a battle happening in the stairwells.
Holding like they were grappling, or holding like this person was dying? And
Holding like this person was dying, and then the other person was killed by something.
The higher up we go, the more bodies we find. What the hell?
Well, it might mean that Mr. Poops' pants and whoever is loyal warriors might be at the top. So,
Check these guys' pants.
okay, how are these pants looking?
The pants are fine.
Okay, they didn't poop them.
He's not our man.
No, they must not have eaten before they died. Most people poop their pants. This is actually the biggest mystery.
Just look at Quinny. I'm like, you serious?
I'm just fucking around.
Yeah, okay, that's
I gotta have my fun where I can.
Okay, so let's go upstairs. We need to find Mr. Poops Your Pants. Check every pants.
All right. So you run up the stairs and you enter EV block, which is
Evocation?
Evocation.
Laura, what is it? You were supposed to
Probably
save
like
us,
the
Laura.
cove of
Oh, that's the
evocations.
Palace of Wonders.
Palace of Wonders.
Palaces. Hachi machi.
Spared no expense.
You make your way up, and you sort of boot open the door. Inside, it's very regal. It's built to look like a very fabulous palace. The columns are all gold. The floor is like that weird check pattern. But the biggest thing you see in here is a statue of Grace and Typhus wearing robes, kind of with a hand extended. And away from him, there is a sort of like a heart, like a heavy metal statue of like a spooky looking monster that looks pretty blast scarred.
Does one statue blast another one?
Maybe they brought one statue to life and then he'd shoot it, or they just show how powerful he is or whatever.
What kind of magic is evocation?
Juniper, do you know? I just pray to God.
It's essentially like force magic. So think magic missile. But it's
in 2099, this would be the laser magic?
yes.
Okay.
This is the weapons floor in 2099.
Oh, this is where they did. Okay, there's got to be a secret room, and maybe it's attached to the statues. Okay, we got to find our magic door. They've always been in the same place, and I go to where it usually is in the other room.
Yep, sure enough, same thing.
I want to pay extra. I want to do a quick look at this statue
Okay.
just to see if there's any additional
Can you roll
features.
me a probably an investigation?
21.
21. Okay, so you quickly examine the statue. You can tell that it's hollow. There's some machinery inside it. Most notably, the hand has a sort of small gap between it and the sleeve. And you can see the area around that is kind of blast scarred, and there definitely seems to be like a metal circle inside there that presumably leads further into its arm.
Okay. Yeah, this guy definitely shoots the other guy. I'll come check the door here. Juniper, you got anything, or what are you doing?
I don't know. Does this beast look familiar to me?
It looks like something that, in the same way that, there's dinosaurs that just don't make any sense that people draw or monsters. It's kind of that. It just seems to be the scariest thing you could come up with, presumably so that it being vanquished by this magical blast would seem very, very impressive.
So it's like Guillermo del Toro concept art.
Yeah.
But
doesn't
if
even look
drawn by an
real.
idiot. So
Yeah.
it's like it's
It
his
looks ridiculous.
It does look ridiculous. And you get the sense that partially that might be because in a world where there are a lot of like different species and races, that really it is kind of hard to find something that will be non-offensive to all creatures. And this seems maybe to be that. But it does seem very silly.
So Grace and Typhus is socially kind of an idiot, but also like sensitive to
Big
people.
poopy pants show
Yeah.
off.
You're
What's
also-
this room even for?
Well, I mean, they're all sorted to show off a kind of magic, so just show it off because they wanted. It said "Welcome mages," right? wait.
But I mean, those other rooms actually did stuff. If we go through this hidden door and there are more corpses back here being channeled to turn on a guy's fucking show-off hand faucet, what's going on here?
Well, I mean, okay, their world, because Alyn told us that it had no magic. So if this came from there, maybe it was like, did you see that traveling play called Jurassic Golem? Where it was about all the golems that were in the shape of lizards because they wanted to bring back the old lizards from that jungle. And then the golems came free because they made them act like the lizards. Everybody got eated. But the guy was like, everybody wants to see these lizards. So what if they're in a land with no magic? And this guy was like, everybody wants to see magic. So you put a sign up the front that says like, welcome mages. And it's like kitschy and you get to go through and be like, whoa, fire. Whoa, other stuff. And you think it's science, but it's actually just a bunch of mages tied down till they die. And then you make all the money because you spared no expense, but it cost lives.
I'm going to kill this guy.
I agreed. I'm going to make him poop his pants one last time when he's dead.
I'm going to...
But after he makes a portal work.
Yeah. I'm going to do the old mage hand switcheroo on this hidden door.
Yep, sure thing. So same thing. Magic fist.
At this point, I think after a couple of 30s, it might just be like, cool, it's a trick now.
Yes. Yeah, there's nothing more engaging in a D&D adventure than rolling a dice you can't fail to do a thing that you're already provenly safe from. Oh no, my mage hand didn't open the door. I'll do it again. So the mage hand blasts out of the door, and this time the trap hand. This time your mage hand is ready and just has its fist ready for props. And then the fist shatters. You open the door, and weirdly back here no one is suspended.
That's a relief.
There's a sort of you can tell there's a sort of a secret window that's hidden amongst it's like one-way glass on a mirror. And there seems to be a panel, essentially, with some switches and heavy cables running out of it and kind of underground. Based on the trajectory of where they're going, they look like they run to the statue. But you basically see one that says fire on it, and then another one that's like safety.
Ah, crap.
What?
The dead guy's in the statue.
What?
They shock him from here to make the fire come out of the hole, because none of this has been science.
Does that make sense with what I learned about the statue?
You're not sure?
Oh my God, I go back. I gotta know.
There's a hole in the hand, right?
Yeah.
I bet there's a dead guy inside that hand.
Is there a seam or a panel or anything that I can remove from the statue?
Can you roll me a sleight of hand check?
26.
26? If there wasn't before, you somehow found one. So yeah, you feel around for a seam, you click it, and immediately like the back hinges off, and a skeleton falls out. You can see that the tube you found led to essentially the forearm bone. Mm-hmm. It seems the hand had been cut off, and the forearm had just been inserted to kind of a hole to just literally pump magic blasts out anytime it was shocked.
What a monster.
What does the skeleton look like?
This one, presumably elven.
I'm going to bless that poor soul to Moonhammer. Like, let's get him into the executive suite in hell for this. This is fucking terrible. And then let's open up the shitter, because I've got a Grace and Typhus to jam in the bottom.
Let's keep going.
You find that the skeleton is wearing one of the jumpsuits, but that's been kind of standard of most of the things you found. Okay, so leaving behind the horrors of that room, you continue up.
I was going to say, Juniper, were you puzzling in there while we did all this?
I'm always puzzling.
Okay, Juniper, go ahead and roll me an insight check, please, but do it at disadvantage, because I think... How horrible did you find this room? If the truth is not that horrible...
Honestly, not... There were no... Aside from the skeleton... There weren't any other dead bodies. Like,
okay.
It's based on...
She's so inert
from
to
what
corpses.
We've seen,
Quantity
honestly.
versus quality.
Yeah, no, totally fair. So then go ahead and roll with advantage, please.
I rolled a 2, and then I rolled a 3. So 8.
Oh man, there's something at the back of your mind that's really interesting. Probably a great revelation that'll really turn the tail.
And we leave and you're so frustrated. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. In the next room, don't think about it. That's the thing is you're overthinking. You have to let it go and
I'm
then
just
it'll
like
just come
like
to
going
you.
through all possibilities. Like Alan's kind of an elf, and like she only has one
I know,
hand.
Juniper, you got to let the thought go. Because when I forget something and then I try to think about it, my brain like locks up. You just got to focus on the next room, see what you can find. And then maybe it'll just come to you.
Let's try.
So you arrive at the next set of doors. You open it, and you're immediately hit with kind of a stale smell of death. And inside there are bodies everywhere. It looks like a huge battle occurred here. You can see there are a number of pedestals with armor on them, and then noticeably a couple of pedestals without armor. And there's a huge banner just kind of strung across the back of the room that says, "Have you cast mage armor today?" And you can just see that clearly, like, there are a couple bodies near armor suits that have been pulled off of racks. But it looks like a big fight happened here.
Are these fresher bodies?
No, they're the same vintage as the ones you found in the stairwell.
But looking at them, I'm guessing these have like swords in them and shit. They didn't die of hunger.
No, they definitely didn't die of hunger. This was a fight. And you can see like a trident sticking out of someone. You see a couple more of the trident folk. One actually does have like one full leg is a flipper, is like a mermaid tail with a thing. The other one's just like a humanoid leg.
Oh, so they're like mer-mutants, and then versus the regular.
What were they killing each other over? This armor? What's so special about it?
Well, I mean, they were fighting in the stairs. If they were fighting to like take the place over, maybe the armor was magic, because in the last room it's been magic.
Also note that the bodies that were killed aren't wearing typhus jumpsuits.
What are they? Do they have any uniformity across?
Not at all. Looks like
all walks of life kind of thing?
You see a lot of robes.
A lot of robes.
These were guests, and then they got ambushed, so they were going for the armor, and they all got killed. Does that make sense? Because we had dead people in the lobby. Maybe people ran from the Kraken up here.
Are the robes uniform in any way, or are they all kinds of different robes?
Different robes.
Okay, so they are just different mages.
Is there any like splashes from like spellfire or anything on any of the walls?
Absolutely, yeah. Like like you can clearly tell like a war zone happened in here. Definitely some magic discharge. You can tell there was some people fought back. There are a couple of humans in typhus gear who have swords clutched in their hands still. Can you roll me, if this is what you're investigating, can you roll me an investigation check?
Yeah.
You want from all of us or just?
Whoever is really into these bodies.
I would say I am
Into
too.
freaking everything.
Yeah, I think we're okay. So we'll all be into the
Good
bodies, but I
Lord.
also do like Moonhammer shit as I'm traveling.
15 for Quinny.
19.
22.
22. Okay, so yeah, you quickly check the bodies, and you can tell that there's a wide variety here. You can definitely see weapons deaths kind of here and there. There are a few people in typhus jumpsuits who were, again, carrying martial weapons and seem to kind of almost be defending the people in the robes. As you're exploring the bodies, though, you find one of them that's, again, like these bodies have been here long enough that if there's skin, it's pretty mummified. But on one of them, you find just a couple of gills on their throat. Another one seems to have a webbed hand. But otherwise, they look the same as the other sort of humanoid bodies on the ground.
Have we visited the transmutation room yet? Where people can transform
that is
and
further up.
make changes?
No, we haven't got there yet. Maybe something fishified people?
I think something fishy's going on.
Okay, should we look for a secret door, or do we just figure it's full of dead people?
Honestly, if we do run into this guy, I don't want to let anything slide with him. I want to know all the bad shit he's done.
Okay, then it's probably here. And I point to the corner where there's been secret doors before.
Yeah, so this time it's in classic apocalypse fashion. It's almost funny, like it's like just a comedy bit at this point. Where it's fucking throw a garbage can at the door and the fist punches it, and then you crack the door.
Where are these spells coming from? Everything else is tapped out. Everybody's dried up. But these spells are still active.
Well, I mean, if they were set up with a key, though, then they stay until they're dispelled or until the key gets used, right?
Can you roll me an insight check, Quinny?
Oh, no.
Butthole,
Let's see what my modifier is.
11 for Butthole.
It's 0, so I rolled a 2.
Okay. Butthole, it seems to you from seeing all these sort of bodies that have clearly died of starvation or been left there, that odds are whoever enchanted these doors didn't reopen them. So to your eye, what likely happened was whenever this catastrophe occurred, they just left whoever was back there. So the reason the doors are still trapped is they were trapped from when this place was still active.
Oh, okay. Here's what I think when you're looking at it is these traps were set up with like just the other people behind them, so nobody opened them since. So it's like leaving the door locked, essentially.
This is old magic.
Yeah, I mean, everything here is pretty old. It's as old as the bodies. Nobody's running around re-trapping doors with just dead people inside. There'd be no point.
All right. I poke my head inside the quote-unquote hidden compartment that we now know is like the exact location of every room.
You see 4 mages lined up, and they're clearly obviously dead, but almost like mannequins, and they're wearing suits of armor. And for some reason, there are mirrors hung everywhere. And then they've got like those fucking creepy Clockwork Orange eye openers on all the skulls. Juniper. Fuck, man, this is an Alyn problem. This isn't a you guys problem. You could call her if you want.
I want answers. I want him on every count.
You're getting very lawyerly on this one, Quinny. This is interesting because usually we're just like, screw them, they're evil, let's kill them. Like, why do you need to know it all?
Because I want him to know that we knew it all. I don't want him thinking he's better than us in any way.
He pooped his pants and he's going to get eaten by a kraken. I don't know if he thinks he's great.
Oh, and you're crazy if you think I'm not going to remind him about all the pants he's pooped.
This is a tyrant. He's going to think he's better than us no matter what. Till the very end.
I'm going to show him his brains.
I know his type.
His brains. You're going to take out his brain and show it to him?
Yeah.
I wonder if I can help you with that. Okay, I'll think about that because this guy definitely deserves it. But okay, here you go. Bring.
Quinny, as you say that, suddenly your whole body goes cold and you almost lurch forward and like you just get goosebumps everywhere. And you almost hear applause. And then a voice in your head just says, "Oh, I like that quite a bit." Gain a point of inspiration from Baba Yaga.
It's the dirtiest point of inspiration I've ever received.
But also be aware that you've just made a compact with her.
Yeah.
Bring. Okay, Alyn, are you there? Quinny's got questions for you about a horror show collection of bodies.
Yeah, we're okay.
Alyn, I'm going to show you something terrible, and I want you to explain it to me if you can. And I just kind of pan this lens around the room.
So, Alyn, you see the "Have you cast mage armor today?" And it's sickening, but also nothing to do with you. Oh my God. Don't think. So you scan around, and then you go into the room, and basically, do you think? I'm curious to hear what you think Alyn's theory is, and then I'll have you roll, and I'll tell you if you're.
See, what room are you guys in?
So,
mage armor room. It's all about armor here.
So they take you into the back and show you the mannequins wearing armor with their eyes wrenched open with mirrors all around them.
I'm assuming you mean skeletons or?
They were, so the skeletons are in physical armor, but they're arranged like mannequins. Like they're in full warrior poses.
Cool.
Just stare, like eyes wide open, forced open, staring at themselves in the mirror.
And I think they can give you the context that in every other room they've found, whatever imprisoned mages were used to cause magical effects.
I don't know, man.
Okay, go ahead and roll. Roll Arcana.
Arcana?
Yeah.
Okay. 17.
So, Alyn, whenever you cast mage armor, you imagine armor around yourself. You kind of make it real with your mind. What your guess is from this is that these mages were each dressed in a unique set of armor and forced to be able to see them from all angles, so that whenever they were prodded to create the magic armor in the showroom, it would be whatever particular piece. They would just angle the mage's head at whatever mirror they needed and be like, "Behold, magical shoulder pads," and just like crank their head and make them, force them to make that reality.
All right. So I tell them, like, it looks like they were forced to kind of create armor for others from afar.
Yeah, it sort of matches what we were thinking.
Yeah, the empty
Not
pedestals, the empty pedestals next to real armor were clearly you think real armor is good? Check out magic armor.
Oh, I see.
Well, that's gross. Okay,
It's horrifying.
I guess add it to the list.
You're the one writing the list, man. I'm just going to hit somebody with a hammer till they explode.
You haven't been keeping track?
I don't need to.
my
He's
God.
bad. I'm going to kill. Sometimes justice when you're running a house is really easy. You're like, bad, die. And then you don't have to hear the rest of the case.
You're talking about Grayson Typhus. He deserves to die.
But how hard?
Are they questioning how hard do I need to kill Grayson Typhus? Because here's the deal. Hardest. Put a spike up his bum and through the top of his fucking head.
That sounds like a good start.
Oh, I like him. Okay, he's fine. He can flip me off all he likes if he fucking pulls this off.
I am
Juniper-
glad you have made friends.
Juniper just, I mean, guys, this is upsetting, but can we at least try to know his motivations before we kill him?
Oh, we know his motivations. It's really simple. He's a cunt.
All right, I like that guy again. Or now. I don't know anymore.
Do you know what? Let's just live in the moment. Okay, you guys, good luck. We're going to go deal with this fucking director.
All right, smash cut to 2099. Let's go deal with this fucking director. So the entire facility is on lockdown. You know security will be absolutely highest at the director's office. How do you intend to get there?
So we've got to take the elevator and stop it between floors to
have
get
to
to the
stop,
actual office. I don't know what'll be directly outside. We might be able to play the Adonis thing, but this is probably our toughest fucking room because we know Grayson was up top and he's fucking angry. So who's he going to call? He'll call this director. And if you're the director, who do you fucking call when everything goes wrong and the roof explodes? You call Grayson Typhus.
Alan, how was your Grayson Typhus impression?
Oh, there's a good fucking question. You've seen him in person a lot.
Did you not absorb some of his essence?
I did.
Does that provide you a magical edge in any way?
I mean, let me try.
You've got this cold, grey death in your lungs.
So you cast Alter Self, which isn't. Remind me how that spell actually reads, Laura. Is that like a full on super disguise, or
It's
is it
not.
No, it's just minor
worked,
alteration?
It worked for Tiffany because I had a long time to study her.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not how it normally works.
Yeah,
it's
which
like
is why-
it's like I can alter, like turn my hands into
Sure.
like sword, like that.
Which
kind
is
of
why
thing.
the yeah.
Not swords, but
I mean, you could. They just wouldn't do anything.
yeah, they'd be like bone.
Which is why it was easy for the cloning lab to go, oh, you're not quite. But also, luckily for them, they just thought you were in a derpy Tyson, derpy Adonis body. Okay, so you can't create Grayson. So that option's out.
That's fine. Just running through some suggestions here.
Okay, why is everybody fucking looking at me? I shoot things. We're in the elevator. I have to be far away. I want to line up and shoot them. How do I make that happen?
We open up the elevator doors and you fire away.
Okay, you're a Ronin bot. You can't lie, but you look like one of them, so we got that going. You look sort of like Adonis, which is confusing, but happens. I look like a sniper who's not supposed to be here. How do we play this off? We don't have the way to do that. We can't make you look like Grayson Typhus.
Do I just throw a fireball into the room?
Since it's not a room holding mages, it's the director's office, I see no problem with that.
I feel like if we both stay on the sides of the elevator and duck around, or maybe you could provide a little bit of shielding, all hide around the corner, just fucking fireball their ass, and then we see how it goes from there. Maybe this is just going to be a little bit of a run and gun, who gives a shit.
Remind me again what it is we're looking for in the director's office. We don't want to destroy any sensitive equipment that we need.
Our plan was just to kill the director before the director knew we were here. I hadn't quite thought that far ahead.
Isn't there a portal device in the director's office that we might need to use?
Yes.
Maybe we shouldn't blow it up with a fireball.
Okay, what else you got? Alan, you got any other highly explosive, never fail tricks?
Hashtag witch bolt.
I mean, not witch bolt. My witch bolt's better now.
Sure.
How many magic missiles can you fire at once?
Max 6.
Does anybody here, and I guess I'll look around if we're still in, what fucking room are we in?
We're in the elevator.
We're in the elevator. Was there any room where we left guns? No, we just killed everyone or they were unarmed. That wasn't the classiest, but it was
I
good.
gave a lot of guns to mages. Felt pretty good about it.
Yeah, that was good then. Okay.
I mean, I could blast kind of a wave of necrotic energy at them.
Okay.
What's necrotic energy?
It's like basically the opposite of life energy.
Oh, so you're just going to channel a little bit of grace and it just be like, death! Death from me!
Yes, I'll channel Grayson.
Will that damage any equipment? Or will it just fry people?
If it's necrotic, it
just
won't hurt
people.
equipment.
Oh, there we
Anything
go.
that's alive.
So it's
Sounds like our best bet.
It's like a death ball.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. And then I just go over and like essentially hide in that part of the elevator where the doors open. You got the buttons. I'm going to hide in the button side so I don't get shot.
And honor system, I assume you're doing the classic like sword up against the wall.
Or are you going to stay in front of Alyn with a shield popped?
I'm going to put my sword away, and I'm going to basically
The Brigitte sword or shield.
up against the wall. As the elevator doors open, I will come in with the shield.
Fuck, you guys are getting real good at this. And Alyn, what spell are you prepping?
I am prepping Blight.
Ooh, what does Blight do?
So basically, a target, like a creature within 30 feet, I cast Blight, and necromantic energy washes over the creature, draining moisture and vitality from it. So they have to make a Constitution save, and it's like 8d8 necrotic damage on a hit, half as much on a...
Hachi
Fail.
Chachi.
Yeah, I've never used this one before.
Fuck, I mean, if there's a time.
Alan's feeling very necromantic, so I figure prep those spells.
Yeah, it's a nice Valentine's Day gift for everybody. It's a necromantic day. Okay, wicked. So
Necromantic.
So I assume you're just going straight to this door, opening it. Like you're not stopping above and dropping down. It's literally like ding.
We're going to basically hard stop at the secret level. I'll open the door.
Yeah,
and bring
we'll
out
just
my
like
shield.
one arm out each, yank the door open, and let her shoot.
Great. So Alyn, you kind of reach inside yourself for that well of power that you've accessed. You can kind of feel your whole body go cold. To Declan and honor system, like the black veins begin to get like bigger and spread more. Your entire body goes ice cold except for your robot arm, which doesn't, but like the energy's crackling around the rest of you, but not the hand. Both of you reach, dig your fingers in, and begin to open the door. Smash cut back to Dunphy Room. All right, so Dum-Dums, you are arriving now at you sort of come up the stairs. This time, the door to this floor is ajar.
What a strange jar.
You kick the jar open, and inside you see just sort of an entry hallway. There's a set of double doors that are mirrors that are cracked, and this whole hallway seems to be cracked mirrors. The double doors, sorry, you're in like an entrance hallway. The double doors lead into a larger space.
Do you remember what room this was supposed to be, Juniper? You remembered the map, right?
Yeah, definitely remember.
Juniper, you remember that this is the illusion floor, or I block in 2099.
We're in the Tunnel of Illusion.
Yes, so you can see that this is the entrance to the Tunnel of Illusion. It's kind of a weird, shitty tunnel of love situation, but the double doors, again, with mirrors are shattered.
So somebody's trashing the illusions because it's making them confused, maybe.
Maybe, or it's just old. I'm just going to walk down the hall.
Sure, so you can see sort of bloodstains as you get closer on the mirrors. Also, beneath you, you hear kind of a tremendous rumble and a massive sound of shattering glass. And you can feel as kind of the entire structure shakes as the Kraken begins to force its way up from the bottom. So you've still got several floors on it, but it is very much a fighting its way up situation.
Quinny, I hate to be a little blunt. I know you want to do like a full forensic category of crimes, but a Kraken is coming through the building. We do not have a plan on how to tackle it. So I think this might be a quick, like, take a peek and then let's get the fuck upstairs.
Yeah, let me see this. And I open up.
You open up to, as the name suggests, a tunnel of mirrors. This one seems incredibly non-magical. Okay. What's odd, though, is that halfway down the tunnel of mirrors, all the mirrors disappear, and it's just kind of like plywood, and it almost looks unfinished, except that the floor continues with the same sort of carpeting all the way to the end.
Now, this seems like a completely different layout, so can we surmise where the secret door is, or do we need to...
You can, yes. It would be at the end of this hallway, because basically they've built a tunnel to artificially make this room seem like it only contains a tunnel, but you can tell there's dead space on either side. It might be at the end of the room, or it might be behind the sort of false tunnel walls.
And the false walls are like plywood?
After the mirrors, yes. So think of it as literally like a tunnel, flat floor, sort of a rounded ceiling, and it's mirrors all along, all up to the ceiling. And then at a certain point, those mirrors just stop, and it's plywood.
Well, I just blast the walls then to just make a more direct path. I just use Eldritch Blast.
Amazing. So the mirrors shatter, the walls collapse, and behind them, you can see there's actually a sort of a number of stations set up with different sort of charts, and there seem to be sort of like a lot of paperwork. Looking around, you can see, just like quickly scanning it, it seems as though whatever the end game of this illusion was you would walk down this hall of mirrors and then something cool would happen for you at the end of the hall. So you actually notice that there are record books of who is entering and who is scheduled to enter on any given day, as well as what might impress them.
I'll grab the book, but like Butthole said, we gotta
And
go.
it doesn't really mean much to you. It's just like a bunch of names of random mages.
I don't see any flipping through. No names really catch. I'm assuming this happened a long time ago, and what does Quinny really know? But
yeah, there's no like there's not any familiar. Just quickly looking at it names.
I'll toss the book then.
I'll take it and put it in my tummy bag. Maybe it'll be useful for future.
And then at the end of so both of these sort of behind the scenes walls kind of come together at the end to kind of that classic control chamber.
How is he exploiting an innocent mage this time?
You get back there, and there's a single chair with a single skeleton slumped on it. The skeleton's skull seems to have been exploded.
I hate this.
But there's no restraints. It's just sitting there casually. And in front of it are sort of like a series of charts about what each possible person coming through at this time would want.
All right. Like, I'm getting tired. Like, I'm just like, let's go to the next one. I mean, Butthole, I get what you're saying, but it is definitely about making sure that he doesn't get a pass on anything, but at the same time,
he's not going
the names in that.
Yeah, like we got the book, so we can figure that out. But I'm like, he's not going to get a pass. We're going to kill him, or he's already dead.
No.
He could be dead, and then who
Listen to me,
knows?
the names in that book, they had families. No one knows what happened to them. They came here and never came back.
Yeah, or they're guests, and this was how they figured out the scam. Like, if it was a way to tell the person.
All I'm saying is the people that were exploited here and left here to die deserve a better ending than this. Can you bless this guy?
Yeah, sure.
Butthole, as you look at this body, to your eye, having seen kind of a lot of this.
I guess, yeah. For me, I was picturing him literally standing, like tapping his toe at the door. He's like, yes, there are going to be people who are abused.
Okay, so you can bless from the door. Fine.
Bless, yes, grace, great.
And I come back.
Juniper, do you want to roll another check on kind of things you might have missed?
Please.
Go ahead. Roll with advantage, please.
12.
So close. There's you feel like there's some weird connection that you're missing, but you're getting closer. You can feel it just on the edge of your mind. But it's the kind of thing where, again, you can't quite piece together what's wrong, but it makes you feel ill. There's just something tremendously off aside from these sort of visible horrors. That said, you're puzzling this as we're like running upstairs. Like, it's not like you have to sit there and be like, think, like you're not Winnie the Poohing it. Just be like, think. Okay, wicked. So you clear out and continue up.
Yep.
So you kind of rush out into the hallway. You can hear water starting to kind of like fill the stairs down further beneath you. You hear kind of a horrible rending crack as clearly part of the glass elevator shatters. So it is there. You kick open the doors to a large kind of dark room with giant wooden doors and a silver bone inlay around them.
Silver bone inlay around.
Like a frame around around the doors, and they're big, like old wooden doors with like big iron knockers.
Didn't we already go to the necromancy room?
In 2099, you did.
Oh, okay. I thought we went to the cave of necromancy or whatever, but maybe not. No,
they called it that in 2099.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'll open the door.
You open the door and you find a bunch of legitimate spider webs hanging. You find stone pillars. There are very impressive coffins kind of lining the walls. And at the far end, there's a single pedestal with a skull sitting on it.
You want to check for a phylactery here? This is necromancy. I mean,
this is also the room where we should check the secret room, because if you're a necromancer and you're going to starve to death, maybe you can keep yourself alive. So like, hey, Skull, what's up, buddy?
Oh, hey.
I knew it.
Eldritch Blast.
No, I slap his hand aside so it hits the wall.
Oh, hey, watch the digs.
Okay, so there's a big cracking coming. What the fuck's going on?
You're asking the wrong guy, bud. As you can see, I'm a little limited in my movement here.
Okay, so like what happened that you're aware of in the tower?
I heard lots of screaming. I heard lots of dying, and then it got real quiet and real boring. Well, except for old Mr. Poopy Pants who keeps stumbling around.
Okay.
Who are you and how long have you been here? And Mr. Poopy Pants, what?
All right, well, Mr. Poopy Pants, he's the asshole who made this whole place. And as I understand it, he pooped his pants a couple times, kept swearing about it.
Okay, but like, how did you end up here?
Funny story that I was once a tremendously powerful necromancer. And unfortunately, I ran afoul of some adventurers who killed me and decapitated me, which really, gotta tell you, sucked. And then I woke up here, and it seems like some asshole was keeping me alive. But I don't know what happened to them. I haven't seen anyone in a bit, but I guess enough latent magic kept me going.
Okay, just a second. And I look around, and Tom, is there anything that I could fashion as something that would hold the skull so I could carry it like a lamp?
Yeah, there were so many gothic iron lantern things.
Great. I'm going to take down a lantern, like empty it out, and put the skull in it. And I'm like, why don't you go for a walk with us? And I'm like, Quinny, secret door.
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right, so Quinny, you like at this point, just like I don't know, flick a stick at the door, and like the fist punches it, and even the mage hand is just doing the like, all right, carry on gesture. The door swings open, and in the back, you can find several sort of alcoves with bodies in them. They all seem to be strapped to chairs, and there's like pentagrams and everything carved on the walls. And all of them seem to be staring at a skull that is on a small pedestal in front of them. That is currently kind of jostling a little bit as though it's being carried in a lantern.
Oh, is that you there?
And I like show him the skull.
And he's like, oh shit, yeah, sorry. That one's the real me. They were doing this weird mirror trick where they'd animate me in here and I'd talk out there. It's real confusing for me too.
Oh, so
that
like,
other skull's just some random fucking skull. I don't care about that.
the one that they're looking at's fake? And you're the real one?
The one in your fancy cage there.
Okay, so I'll take the one out of the cage, and I'm like, thank you for your service. And then I'll take out the real skull and put him in the lantern.
As soon as you pull it off the pedestal, the other skull just goes inert and the jaw falls off. Like the one that you just dumped out on the
put the
floor.
shitty one. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's like, oh, wow, really glad you found that. A real word there for a second.
Oh, are you not able to tell us about this or something?
Honestly, when you've been seeing through two sets of eyes for a really long time, it's very confusing.
Oh, you would have just forgot. Yeah, that's high risk. Okay, we got to find Mr. Poopy Pants and then figure out how to escape a Kraken.
Grace and Typhus. Guy's a real piece of work.
Perfect. That's who we thought it was.
Great.
We can confirm with Alyn later. Grayson Typhus does poop his pants.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Okay.
You just yell it through the monocle.
Yeah, he poops his pants.
You get no response.
It's fine. They'll know. They'll hear it. Maybe. I don't know. Do you know what? I don't even look. I just take it and yell, he poops his pants. And I don't even look into it. I just put it back. I held up to my mouth.
Sure.
And I'm like, okay, you just woke up here, so that's not terribly helpful. And they were faking that.
Do you know what happened to anyone else here?
Listen, as I understand it, a place like this takes a lot of energy, yeah?
Yeah.
So back when I was necromancing, normally I'd kill a lot of people to get this kind of power, but unfortunately, no arms or legs or body or any ability to cast anything. They tried to summon something to give them a little bit of a boost, and I don't think it went too well.
A Kraken, maybe?
No, they were talking about a Leviathan. It's a creature made of water.
They might have screwed it up and summoned the wrong thing.
Oh, yeah. I saw a bunch of weird fish people run through here that weren't fish people before.
They fucked it up. It's people who don't know magic making deals they shouldn't make with entities that are really big, and that's like a huge problem. So, okay, have you seen Poopy Pants recently? I'm assuming he went up. He's not dead, right?
Yeah, no, he came through here, he yelled at me for a bit, and then he left. I think he just needed to yell at someone.
How long ago was that?
Fuck if I know, man. I'm just a skull.
I don't fault him for not knowing how time works anymore.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago, though. He said that other guy fucked me over real bad, and then he ran off screaming.
Okay, this does put a vote in the bucket of your Grayson Typhus fucked over Grayson Typhus theory.
Yeah.
Okay, and I hooked the lamp to my belt.
Oh, hey, all right.
I'm like, yeah, you're going to come with us.
What's your name, dude?
Oh, my name's Solomon.
Solomon. Nice to meet you. I'm Quinny.
Hi, Quinny.
Oh, yeah, I'm Butthole Farch, leader of House Farch. This is Juniper in my hand, and
Hi
that's
there.
Quinny, my court jester.
Great. My name is Solomon. I was a necromancer in the service of the Grand House of Akka. Now I'm just stuck running around here.
ooh, I'm going to have questions for you later.
Yeah, I look at you now. I'm like, come butthole Kraken, we gotta go.
I'm like, what if we just sit for a minute, though? Do you know... I know my mom's Emily, right? Because I got that from the data slab.
Yes, you do.
Do you know Emily?
Oh, you mean
Antebellum?
Lady Antebellum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to work with her. I was one of the first ones. I was in a call for a long time before she showed up, but then she signed me up.
Interesting. So she must have been like super nice, right? Because my mom's a super nice lady, but she got fooled by mean people, so she might have seemed mean.
You've never heard a skull laugh before? It's very unsettling.
I'm at the doorway now. Butthole Farch, let's get crack-a-lackin'.
Look, kid, all I can tell you is you don't hire a necromancer if you're a nice person.
I don't know. I feel like that's really limiting, and I'm like blessing the bodies as I like argue them. I'm like, that's a little derivative. I mean, I'm bringing you with me. Should I just leave you here because you're a necromancer? And then Moonhammer bless you, and Moonhammer bless you. And then I'm like, okay, we'll go. And then I can argue with them while we're walking.
Yeah, exactly. He's on your hip. Walk and talk.
All right. So you book it out and you start making your way up towards transmogrification or transmutation. Dun, dun, dun. So you boot open the door to transmutation. And unlike in 2099, it's not like a bunch of tubes. Instead, you walk in and it looks like a bomb went off. There's just shattered things everywhere. There's a huge blast radius around sort of a central crater. There's a hole in the floor, a hole in the ceiling. And you can see kind of scattered body parts from where this explosion went off, scattered tools and other things around. There's like half a Grayson Typhus happy cutout that's been like shattered. Like the top half is on the ground. And it's like, behold the wonders of transmutation. But that part is like hanging off the busted ass bottom part. It's a horror show in here.
Just like, is it like just like gore all over? Like
it's literally like charred blast radius from the center and then
Okay.
just gore splattering all the walls.
So, sorry, just so I'm 100% clear of the image, did something or someone explode here?
Something exploded
Okay.
and took a lot of people with it.
Okay.
I'm betting this is where the fish people started, where he said people became things that weren't there before because this is the transmutation room. And then I'm like, bless some bodies, but like, let's find that hidden door because I'm betting that'll make more sense than this will. Like, take them to hell.
So this time there is no fist because the doors have been blown inward from the explosion.
There it is.
You move into the back, and most notably, you find looks like a couple of people committed suicide back here. Like there's a couple of people in typhus jumpsuits,
Okay.
but like look very official. Like they probably are staff, and both of them looks like they kind of like stabbed each other. But there's no like they each have a hand on each other's shoulder. Like there's no like this was a fight. It was kind of a thing. And spread out in front of them on the table, and there's the typical like 4 dead mages against the wall. All of them seem to be rigged to some kind of crystal that their hands are kind of chained to. And the book, so the notes you find seem to be about summoning something called a Leviathan, which is an elemental, a water elemental of extraordinary power. And it lists like there are a number of risks that seem to have been crossed out. That's what you get from this room.
Well, you want to build a wonderland underwater. Why not try to control the water it's under, right?
Yeah, you got to drive something to keep the lights on. I mean, maybe they did bring it, and that's what pissed off the Kraken. Like, yeah, I have no idea. We could turn out there's an elemental we could release to fight a Kraken. That'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, I'm starting to worry that maybe that's a Kraken meat puppet.
That's equally problematic. I mean, honestly, none of this really adds up good. And I want to review the risks crossed off to see if there's anything that we red flag.
Leviathans are hugely powerful forces of nature, and as a result, the idea of summoning one is often described as fatal to the mage who does it, and you have to be extraordinarily powerful to do it. Based on what you can see back here and what you see in the main chamber, it looks like they were using the mages strapped to these crystals to power a crystal in the main room. You can guess, based on kind of the horrors you've seen to this point, that the idea would be these mages can explode, but we'll be able to carry out the ritual if they're the ones powering it. But clearly something went wrong.
Okay, I want to take a look at just using my Moonhammer powers at the crystals because I want to make sure there aren't like souls left in them because magic
It looks like they were.
Weird
It looks
this.
like they were just channeling.
Okay.
So whatever went through them is gone. As you explore the room, though, you find a number of cracks in the walls that look like they've been patched up by an Abe droid.
This was a train wreck of a ceremony. Okay, I'm going to take the book and just sort of tummy bag that. And maybe one of the crystals, just because.
Sure, yeah. Like, you've got room.
if Quinny wants that evidence, we're going to get this evidence. Yeah. Book of. I'm just going to call it the Book of the Leviathan, for lack of a better term.
Sure, dig it.
Is there anything strange that I noticed about the bodies? Like the mer people, pseudo mer people?
The ones behind the wall aren't pseudo mer people at all. They seem to be, just an elf and a dwarf. But in terms of the ones in the room, it looks like whatever was in here exploded. But based on the damage to the walls and kind of everything else, you get the sense that whatever happened here likely hit, whatever effect it was here didn't stop here. Right. So I think it'd be safe to assume that if this ritual went badly, as it clearly did, there might have been something that infected or affected other people throughout the building and might have turned some of them. Also, the blast radius is small enough that you can imagine there would be several people who would be maybe gore-soaked but safe if they were at distance.
Okay.
I'm going to just give Butthole a little elbow and just kind of quietly say, looks like Juniper's been trying to figure something out for a little while. Do you want to grease the wheels spinning in her head a little bit?
Sure. And then I do my hurried blessing of all the corpses. And Quinny, because you're close enough, you actually hear it for the first time. And it's I just say, if they're upstairs, leave them alone. If they're downstairs, make them your own. And then I fart and it just poofs a little bit at them. And then they've been blessed.
That's very good.
And then
Quinny rolls his eyes, but that's very good.
So now Quinny also knows how to bless people if he finds a body that he's worried about. And then I go over to Juniper. I'm going to help you think about the thing that you're forgetting. Okay, you got to let the space go. Okay, you got to breathe in, and you got to breathe out.
And I revert into moss.
Fantastic. And then you got to breathe in.
Fuck, the skull says, and you just quietly shut the lantern.
Yeah, I just close the door so you can see it yelling, but no sound comes out. But I breathe in, and then I subtly fart, but it smells like roses because I can do that with food.
Thaumaturgy, I think.
Religion. And I'm like, okay, now.
It was fun watching your brain jump
Breathe
through all the
in.
powers.
Yeah, I did. And I was like, no, the spells do that. So breathe in and remember. And I cast guidance at the same time with my fart.
And I do have 1 point of inspiration, so I'm going to use that too.
Sure. Hot damn.
I add 3 to whatever your best roll was.
22 total.
This is the one.
So 25.
Yeah.
There's a word that you remember seeing as you were quickly looking at everything, and it didn't mean anything to you at the time. But the more you think about it, the more it just seems to bother you. So you go back, you pull out because you gave away the map, but I think you kept the architectural drawings and other things. And you keep seeing this word mentioned over and over and over again. And it's the word Eberron. And something in it speaks very deeply to you. And as you start to look quickly, as they're doing their bits in this room, as you start to look through the architectural sketches and the things that have happened, you start to see more and more reference to, we'll be bringing the materials over. The only place to get this is there. Our contacts on that side will bring things through. And with kind of a horrible feeling, you think about what your scroll has shown you and why it shows you things. And the fact that your scroll is so badly on the fritz means that you might be in a structure that doesn't belong in this world, that is from another world altogether. But if it's a structure built by your people and it's not from this world, maybe you aren't either.
Oh.
Cut back to the elevator.
Man.
So, honor system, you reach out with one hand. Declan, you reach out with another. Alyn, you feel the necromantic powers running through you, and you begin to your two companions crank the door open. And I assume this is like a just open fire as soon as the doors are open. You don't need to aim. Do you need to aim this?
It's at a creature, right?
At a creature. Yeah, so I'm not I'm going to have to see it for a split second. Gotcha.
So the two of you start forcing the door open. You crank it open, and you see Alyn before you sort of, fucking Juniper already knows what this room looks like, but a large kind of circular room, except unlike the other one, this is very clearly ordered. There are video screens everywhere. There's clearly a sort of central overseer desk kind of looking down at the main area. There's computers. You can see a bunch of bookshelves that seem to be stacked floor to ceiling with tomes of various sorts. And standing with her arms behind her back, looking out the window, kind of overseeing the site, is the director. And as the doors open, she turns to look at you, and you recognize her as Director Tyra Leondell, your mother. Do you open fire?
This episode of Dum-Dums and Dragons features the voices of Ryan LaPlante at the Ryan LaPlante on Twitter, Tyler Hewitt at Tyler_Hewitt on Twitter, Laura Hamstra at EL Hamstring on Twitter, and our DM Tom McGee at McGeeTD on Twitter. This episode's sound was edited and mixed by Laura Hamstra, and Dum-Dums and Dragons artwork is by Del Borovic, who can be found at delborovic.com. Our theme songs are And Now for That Massive Coronary and Skipping Through the Orchestra Pit Part 1 by Peter Gresser, and our ad music is No Control and Chiefs by Jazzar, JAHZZAR, all available at freemusicarchive.org. When it comes to Dum-Dums and Dice, you can visit our website at dumdumdice.com. Our Twitter and Instagram are at dumdumdice, and on Facebook at facebook.com/dumdumdice. But most importantly, we've got merchandise at redbubble.com/people/dumdumdice, or you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/dumdumdice. That's DUMBDICE. And tune in next week for more Dum-Dums and Dragons. Dum-Dums and Dice has to give a special thank you to the supreme beings of our Patreon at this time. Christian Menicola, Long, The Half-Blind Prophet, James Cuellar, DM Rob, Christopher Little, Joshua White, Olin Anderson, Sue One, and Jill and Noel LaPlante. If you want your name to be added to this list, you can join our Patreon too at patreon.com/dumdumdice. Thanks to them, and a little bit of thanks to you.